What is up, my awesome Algebra 2 students? This is Lesson 12, and our objective for today is how can I write the equation of a line from a graph? So, I guess a little bit of review, because we talked about this not too long ago. Let's talk about slopes of a line. First of all, remember that slope is rise over run, so how much it moves up and down divided by how much it moves left and right. And of course, we always read graphs from going left to right, just like we read books. So positive slopes go up. So if you're going from left to right, you're going to be going uphill. Negative slopes are going downhill. Negative slopes are going downhill. All right, so something you should know about slopes is more steep means more positive or more negative. So a slope of 4 is going to be steeper. It's going to be steeper than a slope of 2. Because it's more positive, so it's going to be steeper. Same idea over here, a slope of negative 3 is going to be more steep than a slope of negative 1. Okay, excellent. Something you should also notice is that parallel lines have the same slope. Ooh, we'll learn about that more later. Also, since we're writing an equation of a line, this is the best equation, my most favoriteest one. Just simply y equals mx plus b. Remember that m is the slope, the rise over run, and that b is the y-intercept. And since we're dealing with graphs and trying to write equations of them from graphs, then it kind of makes our life pretty easy because we can find the y-intercept most of the time fairly easily. And we can find the slope fairly easy by seeing how much it rises and how much it runs. So enough talking, let's get to the nitty-gritty. Alright, so here's our instructions. Write an equation for a line, for lines A through D. So notice they're graphed over there very beautifully by an awesome artist, I'm sure. Man, look at those lines. Alright, so first of all, let's start with line A. Since line A is graphed in black, I'm just going to go ahead and use black ink when I'm talking about it. So first of all, let's see if we can find B, that y-intercept. So we're just looking at this black line, and we're trying to say, where does this thing cross the y-axis? Well, hey, look, it crosses right there at 2. So that means B is going to equal to 2. So the next thing we need to find is my slope, my m. So let's just kind of go with that point we started with here. Let's find another one. Maybe this one right up here. I could try to pick any point along here, but let's try to grab the ones that cross right at corners. It makes it a little bit easier to calculate here. So here we go. So I'm going from this point right here to this point right here. So let's see about how much we rise. So I rise up this much. Notice that length is 2. And then I'm running to the right. Notice I'm going 1, 2, 3 blocks. So I go right 3. Notice this is going uphill as I read a book from left to right. So that means my slope is going to be positive number. So rise is 2, run is 3. So this is going to be 2/3. 2/3. So now I have my B, I have my M. So now let's just plug that in. Y is equal to mx, 2/3 x plus 2. There's my equation there for the black line. Now let's go to equation, or line B, that blue line. So I'm going to write in blue since the line is in blue. So same idea here. Let's look for where it crosses the y-axis. It seems like a pretty simple place to begin. That's the B. So there's a point right there where it crosses there at -1. So B is equal to -1. Now let's find M. So let's use that point. Another point. Maybe that one. Let's see here. So rise, how much does it go up and down? It goes up and down 2. And it runs left and right 1. But of course, notice this is going down. So this is going to be a negative slope. So this is going to be a negative 2/1. But of course, negative 2/1 is just simply negative 2. Now let's just say for a second we didn't see this point. Let's say we saw this point right here and this point. Would we still get the same slope? Well, in fact, we actually would, because notice this would go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right? This rise would be 6. And my run here would be 3. So kind of a thought bubble here, I guess. 6 over 3 would still be negative. 6 divided by 3 is actually 2, so it would be negative 2. So there we'd still get the same thing. So again, plugging that into our equation, y is equal to mx, which is negative 2x, minus 1. And that would be the equation there for that blue line, the line B. Alright, moving to the green line, line C. We just need to find its B. The B is going to equal to where it crosses the y-axis. Looks like it crosses right there at negative 4. And we just need to find its slope. So let's see if we can find another point on there that crosses right there. Maybe let's pick this one right here. So notice, how much does it rise up and down? Well, notice it rises up and down 0. It doesn't go up and down at all. How much does it run left and right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the rise over the run, so 0 over 4, which actually just gives me 0. Now notice this line is actually exactly horizontal. We call a horizontal line. Horizontal lines have a slope of 0. So I'm just going to make a note of that real quick. That might be something that you want to add to your quick reference. This is a way to remember that. Alright, so let's see what that looks like whenever I plug that in. So still using that same equation, y is equal to mx, m is 0, x minus 4. So notice, what's 0 times x? Well, it's just 0. So 0 minus 4 is going to be y is equal to negative 4. And this is actually the equation of that line. So for horizontal lines, they have an equation that is y is equal to a constant or a number. Okay, and if you think about it, let's name several points on this green line. This point right here is x is 7, y is negative 4. This point right here, x is 3, y is negative 4. This point right here, x is 0, y is negative 4. If you notice, every single one of these has a negative 4 as its y. So an easy way to define that is just to say y is equal to negative 4. Y is equal to negative 4 because every point along this line, y is negative 4. So it makes it really easy to write the equation. Alright, now moving on from there, let's look at the red line, line D. So let's try to figure this out. Where does D cross the x-axis? Well, it doesn't cross the x-axis. It's just a vertical line. And vertical lines are parallel to other vertical lines, so it doesn't ever cross the y-axis. So it doesn't have a B. Great. So this is making my life a little bit more complicated. So let's just skip that for now. Let's find a couple points. I don't know, maybe this one and this one on the line, right at corners, nice and easy to graph there. And let's calculate the slope. How much does it rise? 1, 2, 3. So it rises 3. How much does it run? Well, the run is actually equal to 0 because it doesn't move left and right at all. So as we calculate the slope, m is equal to rise over run. Well, great, because we just remembered that we cannot divide any number by 0. So that means this is actually going to be something that is undefined. Now we're like doubly sunk because now we can't find our slope and we can't find a y-intercept. So how are we going to write an equation for it? Well, kind of like horizontal lines have a special equation, so do vertical lines. Vertical lines have an undefined slope. That's what that word right there says that I wrote really horribly and it's really hard to read. Undefined slope. And they have an equation of dun 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 dun. X equals a number. X equals a constant, where that C is a number. Okay? And if you think about it, let's start naming points on here. X is 5, Y is 4. This point right here is X is 5, Y is 1. This point up here, X is 5, Y is 7. Again, notice all of these y values are the same. All the y values are 5. Sorry, I'm saying y. All the x values are 5. Say that one more time. All the x values are 5. Yeah, all the x values are 5. So what that means is that an easy way to define this line is just to define all of the x values. Well, all the x values are always, always, always 5. So the equation of this line is going to be x is equal to 5. And there you go. That's the equation of that line. So kind of vertical and horizontal lines. Be careful with those. They can get confusing and maybe mix you up back and forth. But just kind of remember these two things over here. Horizontal lines have slope of 0, and you can actually kind of use our slope-intercept form. Vertical lines are kind of that one you have to remember, especially they have undefined slopes, and they're just kind of x equals a number. Your homework for today is a worksheet, so sorry you can't work on it early, but I hope you don't mind too much. Good luck, guys.